Good evening from London, and hello to all dear comrades, friends and supporters. This is Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, an official delegate of the Korean Friendship Association for the UK, President of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics UK, and of course the owner of this channel, Songun 007. And tonight I'm just experimenting with lighting with this video, and I'm going to talk tonight about my visit to Germany and some reflections on that. I had promised to do a video about it, but didn't get round to it because I've been very busy, because on Saturday we had a KFA UK picket of the British Brainwashing Corporation, and we also had a KFA literary and poetry evening as well. So anyway, here I am to talk about the trip to Germany, and I visited Germany from the 14th of October to the 18th of October. And before I go any further, I would like to thank KFA Germany, the Korean Friendship Association of Germany, for their excellent hospitality during the visit and their kindness, in particular, providing accommodation for me and also a guided tour of East Berlin, which I'm going to speak a bit about shortly. And whilst I was in Germany, I participated in an online meeting of KFA Germany on the 15th of October. My speech that I made is online, and I will include a link to it in the description of this video. And I also participated in a question and answer session via Telegram on Monday the 17th of October. So, a busy time. KFA Germany is refounded. It's not the old KFA Germany that existed a few years back. It's a new and vigorous organisation. We got great comrades, really dynamic, hard-working and committed people there who are committed to defending people's career in Germany, which is a very important task to be undertaken, because Germany is an imperialist state. It is hostile to the DPRK. It has supported sanctions against the DPRK. It carries out anti-DPRK propaganda, and indeed, while I was in Germany, not only were there endless documentaries about Hitler on the TV, and also poor quality American soap operas dubbed into German, but there was a awful anti-DPRK propaganda film that was shown on German television. So, it shows that we need KFA more than ever before in Germany to do the job of defending people's career with no ifs or buts, no reservations, no half-hearted statements, but getting in there and defending people's career and spreading the message about the reality of people's career. That's very important. And this was my first visit to Germany for a very long time. I'd previously been to Germany in 1988, and also my first ever visit to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in 1992 was via Germany, where I caught a Air Koryo plane from the former East German airport of Schönefeld and travelled via Moscow to the DPRK. A really amazing trip, and I spent a few hours in the former East Berlin, and I also changed planes in Germany in 2013. And it was in 1988 that I travelled through Germany on my way to Hungary, where I sort of was on a coach which went through West Germany and then through to West Berlin, and then I crossed over to the German Democratic Republic at Friedrichstrasse underground station, where a friendly GDR border guard got me a taxi, which drove me at speed down the Alexanderplatz and to Bahnhof Lichtenberg, where I got the train to Budapest. It was quite an adventure. So it was interesting for me because the KFA Germany comrades took me to the former East Berlin, which I'd seen in 1988 when it was under the German Democratic Republic, and briefly in 1992. And there I visited the Socialist Memorial, where you have got the graves of Ernst Thälmann, the leader of the Communist Party of Germany, the KPD, an anti-fascist fighter who was martyred in 1944. He was killed by the Nazis. And also the grave of GDR leader Walter Ulbricht, and also a number of graves of very famous German communists. Unfortunately, the Socialist Memorial has been spoiled because the treacherous Die Linke Party, who are social democrats, or maybe I could even say social fascists, also erected a so-called monument to the so-called victims of Stalinism, quote unquote, which I think totally ruins the Socialist Memorial. I was also quite disturbed by the fact that Ernst Thälmann's grave has been allowed to be overgrown, which I think is dishonouring his memory. I also saw the former memorial to the martyrs of the 1918 German Revolution, which was brutally suppressed by the Free Corps, who were sort of like proto-fascists or proto-Nazis, and they were aided by by the Social Democrats, something that people tend to overlook and forget. My comrades in KFA Germany treated me to an excellent lunch at a GDR-themed restaurant called the Volkskammer, in a former East Berlin, where I was able to enjoy GDR-style food and a GDR-style atmosphere. There was a picture of Walter Ulbricht, a picture of Erich Honecker, and let me say this, I think the treatment by the German state of Comrade Erich Honecker after the annexation of the GDR was despicable. That Comrade Honecker, who was by that time in his 80s and was himself a former anti-fascist prisoner, was imprisoned. Absolutely disgusting, and an act of class revenge by the German monopoly capitalist ruling class. Anyway, had a very pleasant meal at the restaurant, and one of the differences between the present system in Germany and the former German Democratic Republic, became apparent. I had a nice glass of Vita Cola, which was the GDR's cola. It's a little bit like Yongjin Cola in the DPRK. However, this was being sold for about €3 for about half a litre, which was pointed out to me afterwards was about nearly 9 or 10 times the price that it was sold at in the GDR. And that shows you the difference between capitalism and socialism. You get high prices under capitalism, and ordinary people cannot afford to buy things. That is the reality of life under capitalism. And I also visited the headquarters of the KPD, the Communist Party Germany. I was happy to be able to visit a political party in Germany. On my way to, or on our way to the offices, I saw a lot of urban decay. Some former parts of East Berlin had been left to go to rack and ruin by the ruling German bourgeoisie. Still very run down areas, bushes growing on pavements, this sort of thing, boarded up, vandalised buildings. During my brief time in the GDR in 1988, I never saw anything like that. And that again shows you the damage done by the restoration of capitalism, and it sort of made me think very deeply and reflect on it. And I will share my thoughts soon. One of the comrades with me was a former GDR citizen who'd grown up on a LPG, which was a sort of collective farm in the GDR. And he said that the GDR was his true homeland, and that its fall, its destruction, meant that he lost his homeland. He lost everything basically after it fell. And he pointed out to me that what happened was not actual unification or reunification with West Germany. It was something quite different. The GDR's leadership actually betrayed the GDR, and the GDR People's Chamber actually voted to join the German Federal Republic, or West Germany as it was. It wasn't a unification of equals. It was really annexation of the GDR, the colonisation of the GDR, and its destruction. This was a fact. He talked. The comrade talked to me about his life in the GDR, showed me some pictures of growing up in the GDR, and some film about collective farms and combine harvesters in the GDR to sort of emphasise what had been lost. And, you know, looking at it, could see, you know, whatever faults and shortcomings the GDR had, and, you know, I have my own criticisms of the GDR, whatever shortcomings it had, it did provide a reasonable standard of living to its citizens and full employment. And also when I was in East Berlin, I saw some flats that had been built during the GDR era. You know, you wonder how much they cost to rent now. So, I mean, with regard to any shortcomings of the GDR, I would say, well, although it was one of the few East European socialist countries that was quite close to the DPRK, the other one was socialist Romania under Comrade Nicolae Ceausescu, it was still revisionist, and that was the reason why it fell. You know, when I was in the GDR in 1988, you know, I saw Western clothing styles in the GDR, and over the lunch in the Volkskammer restaurants, the comrades in KFA Germany told me how the GDR in 1987 very foolishly allowed the Yankee pop singer Bruce Springsteen to perform in the GDR. And we've always got to remember that, you know, one of the main weapons for the subversion of socialist countries, a weapon of regime change, is of course the infiltration of Western imperialist and bourgeois culture and ideology into those countries. And, you know, this the GDR did not appear to block this, so this was a mistake, you know, but in no way does this sort of negate the achievements of socialism in the GDR. And, you know, some people make comparisons between the DPRK and the GDR. Well, there are some comparisons. Both were, you know, were divided countries, that's true. The GDR was the Western outpost of socialism, whereas the DPRK was, and still is, the Eastern outpost of socialism. However, the GDR stood in confrontation with West Germany, which is actually, or was, an imperialist country, even though it was subordinated to US imperialism and a NATO member and all the rest of it. It was actually an imperialist power itself. As the DPRK is confronted by the South Korean puppet regime, which is a neo-colonial dependency of US imperialism. You know, it's a colony of the US that's occupied by the US, and it's quite a corrupt and incompetent regime, as we've just seen recently with the awful disaster in Seoul, which claimed so many lives. You know, it's a really sort of ramshackle place. So, you know, that was one, you know, very important difference between the DPRK situation and the GDR's situation. And of course, the DPRK is and was guided by the great Juche Idea. The DPRK was totally independent of the Soviet Union. It was an anti-revisionist state. It did not follow Khrushchev. And in fact, when there were differences between the ruling Socialist Unity Party of Germany and the Workers' Party of Korea in the early 60s, one of the the differences were basically over the Socialist Unity Party, the SED, supporting Khrushchev revisionism. But later relations between the DPRK and GDR improved. But the fact was that the DPRK totally rejected perestroika from the start, and Gorbachev never visited the DPRK. So that's some of the differences between the GDR and the DPRK, and of course the DPRK is here now. It is prospering. It is a beacon of socialism and an example to the world people. So to conclude this video with what I thought when I saw the sort of ruined parts of East Berlin, which had been ruined by capitalist decadence, by capitalist urban decay, I realised, it's so more important than ever that we defend People's Korea, the socialist country of Juche. There are many people in the world who would like to see the end of the DPRK through regime change. There's people who want to force reform and opening up on People's Korea. The DPRK doesn't want it, it doesn't need it, and we must never allow it to happen. So we should always defend People's Korea, the true socialist country, the authentic socialist country, and a beacon of hope for the people of the world. And some people say, the DPRK is the last bastion of communism, last bastion of socialism. It's one way of looking at it, but another way of looking at it is that the DPRK is the pioneer of a new world of independence without exploitation and without oppression and without the decadence of capitalism. So, we've got to rally round and support People's Korea. KFA Germany is doing an excellent job. If you live in Germany and you're watching this video and you're not a member of KFA Germany, please join and do what you can to help those excellent comrades there. So, thank you for listening to this video. It's a bit longer than I intended, but I hope that you've learnt something from watching it. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel Songun 007, also to our affiliated channel Korean Friendship Association of the UK, please consider subscribing. We hope to have some events either online or in real life in December, and we'll be having a KFA UK Literature and Poetry evening at the end of November. So anyway, I wish you a good evening, and stay healthy and happy, and I'll see you again. Goodbye.